It was the week before finals, and the campus library had become my second home. The ancient building, with its creaky floors and towering shelves, was both comforting and unsettling. That night, I stayed late, determined to finish my research paper. The clock had just struck midnight, and the library was eerily quiet. As I pored over my notes, I glanced up and saw a shadowy figure at the end of a row of bookshelves. It moved silently, disappearing around a corner. My heart skipped a beat. I was sure I was alone, but maybe another student had stayed late too. Shaking off my unease, I continued working. I needed a specific book and went to retrieve it. As I reached for it, the book seemed to move slightly, just out of my grasp. I finally pulled it down, only to find it covered in dust and cobwebs, as if it hadn't been touched in years. Back at my table, I felt a sudden chill. I pulled my sweater tighter around me as a cold breeze passed through the library, causing the lights to flicker briefly. I glanced around, but there were no open windows, and the heating was on. As I tried to focus on my work, I heard a faint whisper. It was soft, almost indistinguishable, but definitely there. I turned around, my heart pounding, but there was no one. The silence that followed was oppressive, pressing down on me. Unable to shake the feeling of being watched, I opened the dusty book. Inside, I found old newspaper clippings. The yellowed pages told a chilling story. Decades ago, a student had been found dead in the library under mysterious circumstances. The case was never solved, and rumors of a haunting began. My blood ran cold as I read the clippings. Suddenly, the shadowy figure reappeared, this time closer. I stood frozen, unable to move or speak. The figure moved towards me, its features becoming clearer. It was the ghost of the student, her face twisted in pain and sorrow. The ghost pointed towards an old, hidden door at the back of the library. Gathering my courage, I followed the gesture and discovered a forgotten study room filled with the students' belongings. Dust-covered notebooks, a vintage typewriter, and personal items lay untouched. Among the belongings, I found a diary. The last entry revealed the student's growing fear of someone stalking her in the library. She mentioned feeling watched, hearing whispers, and the cold presence of an unseen entity. I placed the diary and clippings back on the desk and lit a small candle I had in my bag. The ghostly figure watched from the shadows, then slowly faded away. The room felt peaceful, as if the spirit had finally found some semblance of closure.